Hey, I'm Zolita.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Yorgo.
And we're gonna talk about how we lit my new music video, I Love You. So I Love You was the third video in a trilogy of music videos that I have put out this past year. I think there's like such a huge power in telling queer stories through a heteronormative structure, because just like packaging it in a framework that more conservative people are familiar with humanizes the queer experience. But also just for queer people, it's so healing to get to see like a queer love story with a happy ending, and to see queer people maybe live out what they didn't get to live out in high school and have it end well and it's not traumatic.
I think that each one built upon the one that came before it, with a lot of inspiration from 90s or early 2000s movies.
So I wanted to just play on a lot of like classic rom-com tropes and just like a look that people were familiar with. What if I let it slip, tell you that you're... So for the first like reuniting scene, we see each other again for the first time in 5 years. Obviously I wanted to make that like a really big special moment, and we had talked about wanting to go much more surreal with the lighting on that.
We wanted to step out of reality and into each of their minds in the way that they see each other, and so we wanted a specific lighting cue, and in order to have that lighting cue happen on camera while rolling, we had to have many units in play. One of my favorite moments was when we used the spotlight mount on the LS600C and the gobos, and playing with different gobos for the background. It just felt so surreal and so, you know, we're in a completely different space, and that was the goal, was to transition the space from where we really are, which is Zolita's music video set, to essentially this like flood of nostalgia.
One of the lights lighting the white cyc was the 600C Pro. And then we just quickly like turned it around, put the spotlight mount on, and made it cyan. A matter of like a couple seconds that we were able to do that and get this completely different look, which was awesome. It's just so nice having that bright an RGB point source unit. It just made things so much easier, and for that scene in particular, it gave this really nice like edge to both of them. And it was actually so bright that we had to net it down a little bit at 1%, which was funny. In the background, one was cyan and one was pink for the quintessential bisexual lighting of the video. And yeah, we were able just to mix around with that color palette for the whole scene. And the Bowens mount system was really convenient for this, because it was just a matter of, you know, rotating the softbox off and putting the spotlight mount on and switching from a cyc world to an RGB world in a matter of seconds.
That's the thing that this video needed. The ability to change look really quickly was one of the most important things.
Call it good, call it karma. I don't know how I got ya, but all I know is I'm all in now.
I feel like pink was the first big thing. It was, yeah, with somebody I once.
Where did pink come from?
I don't know. I was like, I want a pink phase. I was just ready for it. I think also just this idea of this like super femme, bubblegum, pink cheerleader, and this super edgy, all in black. I just loved that image, and it's such a classic one.
To be honest, I didn't even know this was a term, but apparently everyone kept commenting that it was bisexual lighting, so we went with the cyan. To me, the cyan has always been the color that is indicating surrealism, or really being within the mindset of the characters and less in reality. So if you see cyan being introduced, it's typically in a space of what they're feeling more than what's actually happening.
One of the scenes that really showed the importance of an RGB point source as powerful as a 600C Pro was the concert scene. I find that lighting a wide space with any RGB unit typically, you know, results in using like a panel light, or, you know, a tube light, which is, you know, generally softer. Being able to have the light super far back and get enough power to light, you know, something like 40, 50 extras with a hard point source RGB was really, really convenient. And I think that that is really where the importance of these powerful point source RGB units come in.
I think that hard light forces you to really understand the principles of lighting. LEDs kind of went into this place of, let's stop shaping light and let's just have light again with our videography. And what's really cool is that we're kind of circling back. These point source RGBs are an evolution from this sort of more Richardson days. I'm excited to see this evolution. One thing just with lighting that I wanted to highlight that's really important, I think often neglected, and it's pretty obvious with these videos, is to pay attention to production design, wardrobe, and makeup, because you don't want your lighting to clash with that. The way I look at these videos is highlighting. I see my job as highlighting what's there, and I think that that's something that sometimes gets neglected that you want to pay attention to, because there's a lot of people who are involved in the visual of what ends up on screen, and it's not necessarily just camera and lenses. You're there to accentuate what's there.
Perfect. What? You just look really good.
My advice is learn everybody's job, like a little bit at least, so you know how to communicate the best you can with them, especially if you're a director. Learn how to be your own manager, learn how to do your own advertising, literally just learn how to do everything, so then once you do have a team of people around you, you really can communicate the best you can with them.
My advice is it's a marathon, not a sprint, and the most important thing is treating the people around you well. Because people can get really carried away and really short-sighted with the project that's right in front of them. These can be super stressful, but it's the thing that is most important are the people, because they're gonna be alongside you for a long time, whether a project succeeds or fails. And so paying attention to that and treating people well.
I am an aspiring filmmaker, so any advice I give would be to myself as much as to others. I get really caught up in the comparison game. Everyone's always posting on Instagram what they've been working on or creating. It's good to see other people's work in a positive, motivational way, but to sort of look at it and compare yourself to how far other people your age are is a really dangerous game to play.
Zoe sets are the one place where every time, no matter who works for us, they always text me after and are like, that was the best crew. I had such a fun time. I made friends that I think I'll have for a lifetime. It's a testament to the set environment.
It was a great working experience. I work a lot of G&E. G&E is a very male-dominated department. Yeah. There can be a lot of toxic masculinity there, and this set was like the chaotic good of all of my set experiences.
And I think just having a set that is run by queer people, everybody's working on the video, like genuinely believes in the vision, also feels like their vision is being valued and heard too. It ends up being this, like the sum of all of these visions. And especially for this trilogy, telling this really, really important queer love story, having so many queer people getting to tell it, I think we all really felt compelled to tell this story, and like it was so important and felt like we were doing something really special together. That's where the heart of these videos comes from, and that's like the magic.